The Yankees are on the road in Oakland as they visit the Talented A's. Sweeney's in Oakland. Sweeney, what's happening?
Hi, Mike. How you doing?
Are you in Oakland or are you in San Francisco?
Oakland.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're staying in Oakland?
I'm not this time. I'm staying actually a little bit further out in the East Bay. The team always stays in San Francisco.
Yeah, that's the place to stay.
It's a good spot. It certainly is, and especially if you have an off day, it's a great place to spend a day.
One of the most, without question, the most unusual American city. It's not even like being in an American city. It's very different, very scenic, and I think, without question, not just because of the mix of people and everything, probably the most unusual American city, I think, and the most scenic too.
I think it's one of them. When people always ask, what are your favorite places to go on the road? This is always one of my favorite stops if I get to stay in San Francisco. And it's a good trip, too, because Seattle's a good city to walk around, have some good restaurants.
Yep.
And then you got Southern California to top it off. So it's a long trip, but it's a good one.
It is, and Seattle's a very pretty, very clean town, too. A lot of blue water, a lot of green forest, that's for sure. Yeah, very blue and very green. All right, Yankees played well, pitched well. That's really the headline so far. They've bounced back from the Met-Boston week and have played very good baseball.
I was a little surprised to notice that it was the first game all season the Yankees have won when they've scored only 1 or 2 runs. They haven't won the 1-0, 2-1 games.
So wait a second. They had not won a 1-0, 2-1 game all year?
They were 0 and I think it was 17 or something like that when they had scored only 1 or 2 runs.
Interesting.
Well, and you'd think maybe the Yankees weren't pitching that well, but obviously they are. And where to me it shows up is they allow 2 or 3 runs and they win those games. The Yankees last year, when they scored 5 runs, Mike, they lost 19 games, and their offense scored 5 runs, so their pitchers were giving them back. This year, they haven't lost a game when they scored at least 5 runs, so their pitchers aren't giving those leads back. They're getting good pitching all around. They're locking them down late, and the Yankees are back on one of these good runs. You're right, bouncing back from that Red Sox weekend.
Getting a very good performance from Brett Gardner, who is a streaky hitter to begin with.
Correct.
A lot of hitters are, and right now he's on a real hot streak.
It really is one of those, he's lived and died on his hot streaks. You're right, a lot of guys do, but a lot of times you think of that with power guys. You don't think about that as with guys with skill sets of Brett Gardner, but he has been very streaky. This is probably the best one of his career, I imagine, when he hits 500 for a week, and has really helped get things going. Him and Jason Nix, Nix has done a very good job too, and with Nix towards the bottom of the order, sometimes in the 2-hole, and Gardner leading off. They've been able to produce a lot of runs, and I think Nix has been obviously the more surprising of the two, because I think we all knew what kind of player Gardner is, and as you said, we've seen him go on some of these streaks. Nix is a guy who we all thought, okay, play him twice a week, maybe 3 times a week, you're good, don't overexpose him. Well, Nix has had to play every day for a month, and he's done very well. He's hit about 280 with about 350 on base over the course of the last month. That's a lot more than you thought you'd get from him when this stretch began.
Sweeney, very big positives for Gardner for a couple of things. The switch is a very big switch for him because the switch gives him a lot more credibility offensively as a good fielding center fielder than he does as a corner outfielder. As a corner outfielder, he's never going to be outstanding. As a center fielder where defense is a premium, his value is increased dramatically as a player playing center field.
It is. I think it tells you a lot about where the Yankees think about both him and Granderson when that switch was made. And it's not just a short term of improving your outfield defense, which does. And Gardner was a good defender, a very good defender in left, and he's been a very good defender in center too. We watched some of those plays in the Mets series and said, if you're going to Gold Glove, just remember those games and those plays. But when you try to project and you look at where these guys fit as far as profile, the Yankees could probably go out and find another corner outfielder who hit some home runs. Which was when you think of what they did with Granderson, they moved him over. They're probably telling you, okay, you know what, you're now playing a position which we can replace. Gardner is now a guy who is still under some good cost control, and you say, okay, he's playing a premium position, and you look to take care of guys up the middle.
On the other side, in the month of June, Vernon Wells is hitting 103. Vernon Wells is
his month of May wasn't much better either.
Right, and in his last 30 days, he's 160. And now, all of a sudden, when you look up and it's 25 RBIs in 223 at-bats, 238 batting average, 285 on-base percentage. His numbers have taken an enormous dip south. He is 10 for his last 80. That is with 2 RBIs. That is unbelievable. He has basically had a 0-100 at-bats, Sweeny.
This is the player that played for the Angels the last 2 years, Mike. This is, the Yankees got him and got a fresh start, and he got off to a real good start in April. And when there weren't a lot of expectations, he got some big hits for the Yankees and flashed some of the power, and was definitely a very big part of the reason why they got off to a good start. But now he's regressed, and the question is, can he dig himself out? He had been able to be dropped down in the order a little bit with the return of Teixeira and Youkilis, but those guys haven't really started to hit yet. And, you got to give them a little bit of time. There's all the time they missed, but they need to pick it up soon, too.